I want to go into TD Jakes. TD Jakes says that he's stepping down from the Potter's House. That's what TPH is. It's the Potter's House. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's find out what's happening with TD.
Developing story that we're following now. Bishop T.D. Jakes, the leader of Dallas megachurch, the Potter's House, announced today that he will be stepping down. Jakes is a world-renowned pastor. Remember, he suffered a heart attack in front of his congregation last November. Well, this morning, Jakes said that his daughter and son-in-law will now take the lead. Fox 4 Stephen Dial is in studio tonight with more. Stephen, welcome.
This was a shock to many in the religious community. Bishop T.D. Jakes has been a spiritual advisor to presidents and a religious voice to thousands. Now he says it's time to pass the baton to a new generation.
This is a beautiful moment for me.
From the pulpit Sunday, Bishop T.D. Jakes announced that he was stepping down from leadership at the Potter's House, the Dallas megachurch he founded in 1996 and has led ever since.
I cannot afford, especially after November, to risk something happening to me and you be sheep without a shepherd.
This is video from the service Jakes is referencing in November. It wasn't until months after his medical incident that he confirmed to the public he had a heart attack. Now, 5 months later, he told his congregation he had been preparing his daughter, Pastor Sarah Jakes Roberts, and his son-in-law, Pastor Torrey Roberts, to take the lead.
I talked to the board because I was concerned. I have seen too many men build something and stay so long that they kill what they build.
His daughter and son-in-law moved to Dallas during the pandemic and have increased their roles in the church operations over the years.
And I know you guys are so tired. You had a heart attack on stage and still asked for the microphone so that they would be okay over you. I know what this cost.
All right, let me before I give my thoughts, I want to switch over. And I want to go over to the actual live stream and see if I can make anything of it. And then we're going to go from there, all right? Let me show you exactly what he said.
You all know for years I have been talking about it. It may not work out the way I plan it, but I get on my knees and pray, and I plan my life in decades. How many of you remember me saying that? Not days, but decades. Because major moves take time.
Let me speed this up.
It may look like it was suddenly, but you don't know what the background work was. About 6 years ago, I started talking to Pastor Torrey and Pastor Sarah because I did not want all that I had spent my life and your life and our lives building to get old and go with us. This is a generational. And even though she was busy doing Woman Evolved and he was busy pastoring One LA, about 4 years ago, they moved out here just in time for COVID. God has a sense of humor. He throws you in the water and then says swim.
I'm going to be honest with you guys. Listen, I know that this is a long drawn out thing. I have been a part of the church. I grew up in the church, and so I know how this happens. I know the piano and the organ, and I know the and then I also know that, you know, shout service come right after that. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. I've been through it. First, let me start off by saying this. Uh, I don't like for anybody to suffer health problems, okay? So I am not a advocate for anybody suffering. Call me getting older, call me getting wiser, call me getting more mature. I'm always going to speak life into people and life into things. Do I think that TD Jakes is a bad person? No, I do not. I don't. With unfounded and unsubstantiated claims by people that automatically assumed and wanted to tie him in a ditty, I'm not going to do that without evidence, and I'm not going to do that without anybody trying to prosecute him. So as long as I haven't seen anything that he has done illegal, then I am not going to automatically convict him in a court of public opinion and say that he should be suffering. I'm not that type of person. I'm not an advocate for that. I try to be objective. With that being said, I think that the church is a business today. I absolutely think that the church is a business. I think that his daughter is doing a great and phenomenal job of branding herself to be able to take over the family business, which is the church. 100%. I've seen Jamal Bryant on somebody's podcast trying to compare the black church to the white church and saying that nobody ever criticizes the white church about how much they monetize their people, and so nobody should be criticizing the black church. I think that the Catholic Church has done a phenomenal job of making a business-like decision of monetizing what they've done. I think that the white church, most of them, not all of them, large white churches have done a phenomenal job monetizing the people. And I think that the black church, similar to what I see from TD Jakes, and this is just my personal opinion, this is not any criticism towards whether or not he is a good or a bad person. I think that the black church definitely has monetized the people. Absolutely 100%. How do you know this, Anton? Well, number one, I don't believe, let's just take this since TD Jakes is the one that's saying that he's stepping down. I do not believe that you can be ordained from another person. I believe that God gives you pastors and preachers after his own art. So it's very difficult for me to fathom the idea of passing a church down to your children like you're passing down a business, like you're passing down real estate, like you're grooming somebody for leadership. I didn't even know that you can do that. I thought that that was supposed to be something that was automatically ordained by God. I've seen, for example, Sarah Jakes Roberts on tour. Not seen her in person, but I've seen her tour come through Detroit. I've just recently seen a bunch of women that I know personally decide that they wanted to go and attend Sarah Jakes Roberts, whatever one woman tour, whatever it is. And they said that it was almost all women, all women, right? And I'm not criticizing it because she's not doing anything illegal, but I'm just telling you what the state of the black church and of church is inside of the United States of America. It is a business. It is not, in my opinion, there to save souls. Now, I'm speaking with a limited amount of information because I didn't attend, but from what I heard from several people that attended, they told me that it was all women, and then the only few men that were dotted here and there were the men that got coerced into being taken there by their wives. The state of society, in my opinion, is based off of whatever it is that the men are doing. So you can never have a strong society that is not dominated by and controlled, and then more importantly, groomed for leadership based off of men. I'm just standing on it. I just do not believe. I personally don't believe in my big old age, as I've grown to understand the word of God, and that I've actually went to the churches and I've seen how things are and I see the transition of the churches and all of that. I personally do not believe that we should have women that is leading congregations in the pulpit. That's just my personal belief. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm open to the possibility that I'm wrong, but I just think it is a massive, massive mistake, the feminization of the church. And I know that TD Jakes loves his daughter. And I know that he's been y'all's spiritual leader for an extended period of time. But the reality is this: I just don't understand it because I didn't think that that's what the word of God says. I just don't get it. The inherent nature of us. A woman's true power is in her femininity. She was literally groomed and built to be a help meet. And I know that all of the feminists and the women is going to be upset about that. And I know that, oh man, you're going to get bothered by it and all of that stuff. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And so when I see, I don't even respect the man that sent his wife to answer the door if I'm asking him or I'm having a conversation about what it is that we need to be doing as far as helping him in his household. If you tell me, let me check with my wife first, it just do something to me. And I just be like, Like you didn't say, you know what, let me think about it and get back to you and then seek insight and information from other people around you like your wife. You didn't say that. You said, let me check with my wife. But when I see guys that say, let me get permission from my wife, it just do something to me. It just put me in this mindset. I'll be like, what? Look at this. It's all a show. It's all a show. It's all a spectacle to me. It's all a show and it's all a spectacle to me. Now, listen, if the people in the congregation believe that they are getting value from this whole thing, then who am I to tell them that they shouldn't? I'm not telling anybody that they should or they shouldn't. I'm just saying that it's difficult and nobody up to this point has been able to explain to me why this makes sense. Nobody has been able to explain to me why this makes sense. And again, I want to know. I'm open to understanding. I'm truly, truly open and I want to understand it. God knows I do. If somebody is willing to explain to me how this makes sense, I am more than willing to concede and say, you know what? I was wrong about that. Let me make a correction on the record and let me apologize for my opinion and for my perspective that I told people. Brilliance Music says, I don't blame him for keeping it in the family. I don't either. If you're looking at it from a business perspective, I don't either. I don't either. If you're looking at it completely from a business perspective, I don't either. If you're looking at it from a spiritual perspective, then we got to have a different conversation.
I know. You might be a little scared. I know you might feel the weight sliding from my head to you. I know the crown is heavy. But I also know that if God is for you,
all right, so ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. TD Jakes is deciding to step down from perch atop the Potter's house.